Improperly preparing chicken isn't just going to ruin your meal. It could ruin your week, making you and anyone else who eats it seriously sick. So do it right. Avoid these mistakes. As tempting as it may be, do not plop your whole or packaged poultry on the kitchen counter to sit out all day, with the intention to thaw it using only the warmth of the room's ambient temperature. It's a common mistake, so you may have seen it done in other kitchens. But doing so can cause dangerous bacteria to grow on the meat, ruining dinner time. Instead, the safest place to thaw out that bird is in the refrigerator, using an ice-cold water bath, or even in the microwave. Leaving frozen poultry on the counter to thaw enters it into what the Food Safety and Inspection Service, or FSIS, of the USDA calls the danger zone. That would be the temperature range between 40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit. At these temperatures, the bacteria that cause food poisoning and similar sickness, such as E. coli, are known to multiply rapidly and contaminate the poultry. No one wants chicken with a side of a stomachache for dinner, or even worse, a full-blown case of potentially dangerous foodborne illness. So be sure to skip this method entirely. All told, there are much safer and more effective ways to get your frozen chicken ready for the dinner table.
Why raw chicken? That's so gross.
Your body needs pure, uncooked amino acids, and your skeleton needs phosphorus for density.
It may sound supremely tempting to speed things up with the hot water tap, but avoid popping the package or even unpackaged frozen poultry in hot water. That's because the high temperatures used to defrost chicken this way actually serve as a breeding ground for harmful bacteria and can often lead to a lack of uniform defrosting. This means that portions of the chicken are then plunged into that temperature danger zone that can breed harmful bacteria, noted the USDA. So what should you do with a frozen chicken then? If you want to defrost your chicken using water, you need ice-cold water to safely speed up the defrosting process. Just be sure not to place the frozen meat under running water, as that can cause bacteria to spray inside your sink, across your countertops, and everyone in close proximity to the chicken, according to Healthline. Plus, the cold soak method is pretty simple. The USDA recommends that you either leave the chicken in its original airtight packaging or slip it into a leak-proof plastic bag, which helps contain the spread of bacteria. Then submerge the chicken in the packaging or the bag under cold tap water. You'll need to swap out the water every 30 minutes or so until the chicken is fully thawed, which can take up to 3 hours for a 3 to 4 pound chicken or even less for smaller packages. Another common mistake people make when defrosting their chicken is to allow it to defrost next to veggies or other ingredients to be used in a recipe, according to Food Insight. For example, when defrosting meat for kebabs, be sure not to allow the chunks of chicken to commingle with the veggies or fruit that you plan to slide onto the kebab stick. Doing so could spread possible contaminants, and we're pretty serious about keeping that bacteria off those other ingredients here. Also, as ABC News cautions, never reuse the marinade that has already been in contact with defrosting chicken, or any other kind of defrosting meat for that matter. Whether you marinate the meat in a plastic zip-top bag or in a shallow baking dish, skip saving the marinade for use with the veggies or other ingredients. That's because any harmful bacteria hanging out on the surface of the raw meat can be swimming around in the marinade. If you reuse it, those germs will be easily transferred to whatever else comes into contact with the same liquid. And if you happen to be basting raw poultry with that marinade, stop partially through the cooking process to give the heat time to kill off bacteria. Unless you want your refrigerator to resemble a murder scene from a horror movie, don't place the package of poultry on the top shelf of your fridge to defrost. As meat defrosts, it produces liquid that often resembles reddish-pinkish blood. It's not though, if that helps. It's actually what scientists call, quote, purge, according to the American Meat Science Association. So this situation is thankfully not the same as the scary movie of the same title. Instead, it's a combination of water and meat proteins that drain out of the meat as it loses its frozen form and softens while defrosting. According to the American Meat Science Association, meat consists of 75% water, which contributes to its juiciness when served up fresh. But as meat defrosts, is handled, cut, or cooked, the proteins lose their ability to hang onto the water. Even if that's not blood leaking from the top shelf onto everything below, it's still pretty gross and potentially dangerous. So play it safe and set your meat on a plate or in a shallow baking dish to catch the liquid. And above all, store it on the lowest shelf possible so it doesn't contaminate the rest of the food in the fridge and make a giant mess. Microwaving frozen chicken to defrost is a decent way to get the thawing process started. However, it's unwise to defrost frozen chicken in the microwave, then let it hang out for a prolonged period of time. You need to cook the chicken immediately after thawing it in the microwave, because this process essentially jumpstarts the cooking and sends the meat into the danger zone temperatures that can allow bacteria to proliferate. You can't let it sit out because any bacteria that are already present on the surface of the chicken will not have been killed yet. Allowing it to hang around before cooking that chicken can just give that bacteria more of a chance to grow and make people sick. According to the Bearded Butcher Seasoning Company, microwaves heat moisture and create steam, but it's actually the moisture from the chicken escaping. To properly defrost your chicken in the microwave, according to the BBC, place the chicken on a microwavable plate. Use the defrost setting for just 1 minute at a time. If there's anything we've learned during the global COVID-19 pandemic, it's how important hand washing really is to maintain the health and safety of yourself and the people around you. That's doubly true in a kitchen, regardless of the public health situation going on outside your home.
I prepared and handled raw food.
I hunt it, you cook it.
You shot a chicken?
It's especially important to wash hands before and after touching raw meat. Again, because of all the bacteria that could be lurking unseen on the meat. Would you really want to spread that to other surfaces in your kitchen, your own skin, or other people? Even if you can avoid touching that defrosting meat with your bare hands, be sure to wash your hands just the same. Yes, that's even if you only touched the exterior of the packaging. There's still tons of bacteria looming on the meat's surface, and you want to be sure. Wash your hands with soap and warm water for 20 seconds both before and after handling food. The USDA reminds cooks to wash their hands and cooking surfaces often. Also, remember not to cross-contaminate food, cook meat to proper temperatures, and refrigerate leftovers promptly. While you're at it, don't forget that germs can be transferred from raw meat to cutting boards according to Food Insight. While washing your hands, give your cutting board a bath in hot soapy water, particularly if you need to use it again to cut other ingredients. Even better, designate a separate cutting board for meat only. You might have had some frozen chicken thawing in the refrigerator all day, but the kids come home from school and want nothing to do with chicken and noodles served over yummy mashed potatoes. Maybe they want pizza instead. And in that case, you have to figure out what to do with that half-thawed chicken in the fridge. Should you just pop it back into the freezer and let it wait its turn? The answer is no. While it's tempting to refreeze the thawed-out chicken, the overwhelming advice is to not do it. The Food Network said that refreezing chicken changes the structure of its protein and allows extra water to come out. This means the taste and texture of the refrozen, then rethawed chicken simply won't be up to snuff, unless you're going to use it in a liquid application like a stock or soup. While defrosting your frozen poultry on the lowest level of the refrigerator is the safest method to prepare a frozen chicken for cooking, it's also the slowest method. So you must plan ahead and allow time for the chicken to fully and thoroughly defrost. Other factors come into play when determining how long to defrost your chicken, such as the temperature your fridge is set at and how thick the meat is. Plan for up to a day or two for this process, according to the USDA. Otherwise, a safe guideline in most cases is to allow 5 hours per pound to fully defrost your bird, according to the BBC. But if you're down to the wire, the Bearded Butcher Seasoning Company reports that it's possible to halfway defrost chicken in the microwave to save you time. Then go with a cold water method to finish the defrosting process, making sure that you take the defrosted chicken straight from the water to cooking in order to keep germs from multiplying.
Now let that be a lesson to the lot of you! No chicken escapes from Tweedy's farm!
Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more mashed videos about food prep tips are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.